Challenge 5 standard. Oh, did we have a tight game before? I was playing white against T-Knight, and I had a not so good position against T-Knight. He played the Sicilian against me. Now I'm throwing it back. Alright, Sveshnikov Sicilian. Or Roslimo? Moscow? No. Open Sicilian. With what to follow? Sveshnikov Sicilian. Knight takes, not so great, I'm pretty sure, because it just repairs the weakened square on d5. Okay. Am I able to just get in d5 now? Okay, I'm still going to run with this. And I'll take with my knight. Yeah, that's the right one to go with. Take with the knight, even though this knight is pinned. And I really don't have to worry about this guy, this knight. Ready to win more than just a pawn. Is this already slightly misplayed on the white with the knight b3 move? I think in previous games I did recapture on d5 with my queen. I think going with the knight is better though, so I'm wondering which piece to capture the knight with. If I take with the bishop, I'm giving up the bishop pair. If I take with the knight, I get the damage structure, and I keep my bishop around. I'm going to go with that. I'd be happy to see bishop takes. I think pawn takes is best just to get the move back. There'd be double pawns no matter what. I would like to just have the move back here where I could get more development in instead of having to react to a pawn on bishop attack. So let's see what white does. Follow-up moves, something with castle. My light square bishop, I'm not sure where I want to go. Bishop here is maybe best. Reinforce my center. Prepare for maybe some pawn push. I think it's the right spot. Also, I could view it as keeping this diagonal opened so that my queen could maybe come out to h4. If I castle, queen h5 could be quite annoying. This bishop is a pain. Although, wait a second. If I castle and queen h5, I could play f5. Yeah, I think that's a good resource. A good way to defend. Initially, I was thinking g6 would be needed. Not h6 because of some tactics. Both bishops are pointing at my king side. So adding another piece to the mix could just turn out to be overwhelming. So that's why I took pause on this move 11 about me castling. Instead of getting caught up in the, just the routine development. Well, I need to be aware of the possibilities that white has. I believe I just take. Otherwise, this pawn push and then something with f6 is a giant pain. So let me take. And then, as a follow-up, what should I be doing? Take the dark square bishop and then play my knight here, maybe. Whoa. There could be some issues on this. I could get fishing poled. Oh, watch out for that fishing pole. Bishop takes, rook takes, knight here. Bishop takes bishop. Or bishop takes pawn, king takes. Queen check. King here, knight here. It's not working. I'm not there in time. There'd be the rook and queen, if trained on this file, are threatening two different mate in twos, h7 and h8. My knight could only defend against one if it came to g6 at the end of it. Bishop takes, rook takes, knight here is met with bishop takes, pawn, king takes. At the very least, there's queen check and then picks off my knight. So what do I do as an adjustment? I think I take here first, and then play here as a defense, so that there's no bishop sack. Have to beware. I really did want to play this, but I think it fails tactically. This is an ideal dark square, or an ideal flight square, in the sense that it's opposite this light square bishop. Can't control here. I do have to be cautious about this knight maybe getting to this square. c5 here, here, something, but that runs into some trouble with queen b6, and it's in a pin. I think I just want to get both minor pieces off. This knight in particular, if he's off the board, I'm not going to have to worry about these weak squares so much. Let's see. 2:20, and I'm slightly under 2 minutes. Okay, now this is just coming with the fork. I'm going to go with it. On the queen and the bishop. I might end up repairing this structure, but I think I could still stand better with just maybe putting pressure on these two pawns. They're almost like it's almost like a hanging pawn structure. There might be possibilities for a check and knight g4 controlling these two dark squares. We're now knotted at time. 150 each about. And now what? What do we do here? Okay. I really just want to take that bishop. Or is there something better? Queen here, I end up in a pin eventually. That's not a good one. If I go here, there's another pin. I really can't maintain my knight here. If I want to maintain it, I have to play f6, but that seems too weakening. Let's get rid of it. Okay, now the queens are off. Can I win this endgame? I gotta go quick. There's a check. Now, what about bishop here immediately? I'm gonna try it. And then... Whoa! Oh, I thought they might have disconnected. I didn't know why they weren't rattling off that next move right away. So I didn't want knight here, and I'm also thinking about bishop here, but now not. On the knight and the pawn. So a rook and pawn endgame? Maybe? Okay, now that knight does not have a move. Put pressure on this. And then rook c4 to a4. Rook c4 to a4. Pressure on this pawn, maybe, but rook on a3. And before it's kicked away, let's stop this pawn from pushing. It is passed after all. If it has pressure placed on it, I defend it like this. Not the best place to be, having to defend that bishop, but I'll have to work with it. Okay, there's bishop moves here. Not far off. Let's go with this. I don't know that the knight could still move. Bishop here is the threat. Skewer. 30 seconds left. Easy to go wrong. I'll go with this to avoid a rook check. I'm on the knight twice. Pawn push is available. Okay, now the knight is pinned. This is hit twice, and I think as a follow-up I do 2 pawn pushes. And I get this pawn. And then actually I'm on the knight, and then this pawn. Now this is a 1 king and pawn endgame. This is a pin that my opponent cannot get out of. The king could only go to one of these two squares, but I just keep this in here, Actually, I just pushed these pawns to victory lane. Keep your opponent in a pin no matter where the king goes. I just keep pushing these pawns. And actually I take here, still keeping this pin to the last second. Don't take the pin. Push again and then take and then promote. In that order. No time, no time, no time, no time. Actually, I could grab that. Take that, and then get this pawn. Alright. Good game, T-Knight. Let's back up and flip and see about this move out of the Sveshnikov. I don't know about the knight b3 move. I think black is... I don't know. It seems like maybe black is equalizing after bishop b4 and getting in d5. I'm feeling pretty comfortable here on the black side. This knight is out of play. These guys are a bit messed up, and I'm pretty sure I have a good response to an immediate queen out with f5. And then there's some worry about, you know, am I going to push e4, f4 at some point? Well, not f4 because of h7, but something with e4 and then f4 and then f3 maybe. Who knows? So I think knight b5 is again the most testing. But even running with this line, I think it got to be a pretty equal. Okay, yeah, this is, I mean, okay, bishop, a little bit of an advantage maybe, but maybe don't even play here. I wonder if something like c4, or get your king up immediately, king f2, and if I put pressure on this pawn, then you play c4. If I put pressure on this pawn, your king is already in a spot to guard him. Maybe c4 is the better pawn push, controlling these light squares and still keeping available the knight d4 move to get my bishop. c4 maybe is a little bit better in this endgame. Maybe. Just some rough thoughts. But it seems like I do have a lot of pressure now. I can pivot about on c4, make use of a4, and these pawns are constantly under fire. And white is having to defend. So maybe just one tweak with this is the c4. The c4 instead of the d4 move in that ending. But okay, good game.